Hi everybody, this is the second of three videos in which I'm going to be presenting the music from My Musical Suspicious, which premiered in 1990 in Boston. And if you want to find out what the plot is all about, you have to watch video number one, because video number two is not going to fill you in on what's been going on. We do meet a new person in this episode, a woman named Fifi Rambova. And Fifi used to be star of stage and screen. She's particularly known for having starred in a movie called It's a Big Sexy Town with her co-star Archibald Teeters. But then, like a lot of Hollywood types, she decided to get married to a member of the nobility, and she married the Count of Bothnia. But then she grew disillusioned with her life and decided to leave the Count and not necessarily yet return to show business, but to discover what it's like to be a single person again. And this is a song that she sings about being independent and learning how to live on her own. I'll take the wine, but keep the women and the song. The after dinner set will have to get along without me now. I'm learning how to cook for one. I'm much obliged for the perfume and the corsage, but let the limousine go back to the garage without me now. I'm learning how to cook for one. Got a pair of pork chops sizzling in the grease. I'm feeling unfamiliar peace. Candles on the table, music in the air, and the best part of all is no one else is there. My stack of calling cards is going out of stock, and Mr. Auctioneer will have to bang his block without me now. I'm learning how to cook for one. When I was an interpretative dancer, I kept a copy on my dressing table of the autobiography of the delightful Swiss Mr. Carl Gustav Jung, the founder of depth psychology. This autobiography I read with great assiduity, and I learned before I put it on my shelf that to search for the ideal mate is superfluity, because I have the ideal mate within myself. The guys who spend their time in scoring social points can go to 21 and other sleazy joints without me now. I'm learning how to cook for one. Don't need ambassadors to light my cigarettes. Effete balletomanes can count the pirouettes without me now. I'm learning how to cook for one. Sometimes I feel lonely, sometimes I feel proud that I'm not lonely in a crowd. Life is never boring. If I need some fun, I can teach other people how to cook for one. The dignitaries and the military band will have to dignify the presidential stand without me now. I'm learning how to cook for one. Okay. I've left out certain elements of the plot that have been taking place up to now. One of the things that's been going on is that the Count, being a member of the Bothnian nobility, owns a limousine with special license plates on it that enable it to cross the border without a visa. And the border has at this point been closed because somebody stole the keys to the limousine, and they're trying to figure out who did it. Um, and the people who are trying to get out of Bothnia are numerous. One of them is including the spy Zelida Archipenko, who is still in danger from her opponents. One of the distinguishing features of Zelida Archipenko is that whenever she becomes nervous or frightened, she goes into a dance step, which is recognizable. And Cyril, who is in love with Zelida, decides that he can help her out by inventing a folk dance that begins with that particular step. And he teaches that folk dance to Robin, his wife, who doesn't really understand what's going on. But she offers, because she is an amateur ethnologist, to teach this folk dance to the other members of the community of Bothnia. So she says, don't they know their old folk dances? And Cyril astutely points out that he doesn't know any of his folk dances. So here she is. And the main reason I did this is that I always wanted to write a song which would be teaching people a dance like the Varsity Drag or the Time Warp. So here is the song about the Bothnian Bump. Street light seeps through the blind, fills the room with a yellow light, till at last I can't sleep at night without sleeping pills. I was out of my mind, but it's working out for the best, 'cause the doctor advised a rest in the Alpine hills. Bothnian dances are trendy when they get ethnographic. I have found my modus vivendi, stopping traffic. The step is so enticing that after a while you'll think that other dances are cake without the icing. Everybody do the Bothnian bump. It keeps your body active, and everyone knows that when you exercise, you start feeling more attractive. Everybody do the Bothnian bump. Today, your troubles all will be through, if you do as I say and as I do. 'Cause once I learn the lingo, I'm going to pack my bags and take a trip to the town that's so creative and go completely native and do the Bothnian bump. And then everybody starts doing the Bothnian bump. The music is eventually interrupted because a crisis arrives. Somebody has lost the keys to the limousine, and everybody is being carted away to the local Bothnian jail in order to find out who did it. But the one who has the keys is, let me see if I can't even remember this plot myself. Fritz is the person who has the keys, and in the finale, Robin persuades Fritz to join her and Cyril and Zelida in the limousine so that they can all leave Bothnia together. And that's the state of affairs where we are at the beginning of the finale, which is as follows. Oh, no, wait a minute. First, we have to have a romantic song, a ballad in which Cyril talks about the romance that he has with and the romance he has with Zelida. Somebody, when I was putting this musical together, somebody told me that I had to have a romantic ballad, and this is the romantic ballad. There's nothing quite so cryptic as a Hieronymus Bosch triptych, but you come in a close second or third. Yet when we get romantic, I'm anything but frantic. I know it seems absurd, our affair makes less sense to me than poetry in Swahili. But if you should tell me that it's over, I'd answer, not really. We're out walking without talking, without warning. Your eyes meet mine. You're not flirting. My heart's hurting when each morning your eyes meet mine. I'd hate doing without the brief greeting that I'm singing about. The brief greeting, though so fleeting, of eyes meeting as yours meet mine. Without warning, your eyes meet mine. When each morning your eyes meet mine, I'd hate doing without the brief greeting that I'm singing about. The brief greeting, though so fleeting, of eyes meeting as yours meet mine. Okay, that E flat continues to elude me. Okay, now we are going to go to the finale. Robin is arranging with Fritz to meet him and Cyril and Robin at a particular landmark in Bothnia, which is a statue of Herman II. Not second, but fecund. Herman II is the father of his country, 3/4 of it anyway. And the statue of Herman II and Herman II himself play an important role in Act 2. However, at this point, this is just a convenient place for them to all gather together. Now, after Robin and Fritz agree on the plan, they both leave, and then Zdenko and the Count and Gutrune show up and reveal that they are going to lay in wait for the other conspirators and capture them when they show up. Then there's a scene change, and we move to the seaside where the statue of Herman II is standing. At this point, I began to think it was sort of like the statue of the Commendatore in Don Giovanni, so I made a reference to that. And then at the end, there's a kind of general summing up of Act 1 and building up anticipation for the future. So, here's the finale. Down by the ocean there's an avenue that's really rather pleasant. Talk to any peasant, he'll agree that your life will be blessed if you get your first kiss beside the statue of Herman II. Because the strategy is complicated, let's review the MO. You go get the limo. Here's the key while I stand by the seat at the side of the street beside the statue of Herman II. At the famous statue we'll rendezvous. All I ask is that you bring a map with you. They'll come to, and in the time it takes to say your name will be across the border. Everything's in order, thanks to me, but it's time I was gone, so I'll see you anon beside the statue of Herman II. Fritz and Robin exit in opposite directions, and then Zdenko, the Count, and Gutrune come on stage. The sun is getting low, at golden glows beginning to bedizen the Bothnian horizon. Naturally, we'll be catching the view where the Bothnians do, beside the statue of Herman II. And when they blow the cover, we're gonna call their bluff, and Robin and her lover will be side by side, cuff to cuff. We'll have the two of them arrested for accessory to treason and any other reason we can see. They'll be singing our praise for the rest of our days beside the statue of Herman II. Okay, then they exit and the scene changes. The main event of the scene changes that we bring on the statue of Herman II. So I have a little bit of traveling music here to bridge the gap while they're changing the scenery. This music, by the way, is all taken from my first musical, which was a musical adaptation of Sylvia Plath's novel, The Bell Jar, and I've destroyed as much of it as I can. It was really a very poor idea for a musical, but I was able to salvage a lot of the music for this and other musicals. Okay, Cyril, Robin, Fritz, and somebody else show up to depart, and then Zdenko comes out from behind the statue. Fritz and Robin, the voice of Zdenko, says surrender to the police. And then they put the handcuffs on Robin and Fritz. Want to know what happens? To be exact, we'll reveal what happens in the second act. That's a fact, because the Count and Countess, Cyril, Robin, Fritz, Katrina, Zdenko, Zelina, Archipenko, all will be to their necks as a group in the Bothnian soup. When you come back after intermission, we will be maintaining our position right by the statue of Herman II. And then the curtain to Act 1 falls. Thanks for watching. Act Part 3 will arrive soon.